now, a brief chat with Nelson Beaulieu, candidate for New Hanover County Commissioner.
Hello again, New Hanover. I'm here at Gregory Elementary School, and one thing I've heard so often from you guys as I've gone throughout the town is education. We care about education. We want our students to have the best education. And I could not agree more. It's one of the reasons I made this race. I have 2 students in public school, and I really believe that part of the problem that we have with local politics and with politics in general are politicians who tell you we can have great education and it will not cost us anything. And I'm just so frustrated by that. I think New Hanover County residents are smart enough to realize that if we want the best schools in this state, then we need to pay for them. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that because we've been fed a series of lies and misinformation about how we can have great schools. We just have to work harder at great schools. And if we just focus really, really hard, then our problems will be solved when it comes to education. And it's not the case. Education, or anything, requires money. So recently, the county passed a budget where they provided $2,660 per student. Now, the Board of Education asked for $2,700 per student. So the difference between the $2,660 that the Board of Commissioners granted and the $2,700 that the Board of Education requested is going to be about $7 million in funding. It's $7 million in funding that's not going to go to our public schools. And they did that while raising taxes. Now, they raised taxes $98 on a $200,000 property, right? In order to get that funding, in order to close that gap, that had to go to about $105. That's per year. That's $7 per year. It doesn't sound like much out of your pocket because it's not that much out of your pocket. Is it pleasant? No, it's not pleasant. I would rather not pay that $98. There's a lot of things I could use it on. My daughters could get a couple extra trips to Dairy Queen or Baskin Robbins or whatever. But the point is that $105 would have done so much good here. But they keep telling you, well, we don't need it, we don't need it, we can work harder, we can work harder. No, you have to pay for things you want. And when the board made their announcement, when they publicly told us what the budget was going to be, I went ahead and spoke up. So please take a look. Thank you very much for the time. First, I'd like to publicly thank and acknowledge the work that staff did and the work that the board as a whole did in putting together this budget. I know you guys worked very hard. And as a citizen of this county, I certainly appreciate it. But I do have a couple of concerns as a father of 2 small children in public schools. A budget, as I believe you stated, Madam Chair, is really a statement of priorities. And looking at staff's recommendations and some of the reductions that this board ended up recommending, I was disappointed that the public schools were not funded at a full ask. It's not a stretch to say that our students are not competing against Pender or Brunswick or Onslow County students. They are competing against students from China, students from Japan, South Korea, Germany, Great Britain, and I don't think $2,660 is good enough. And if it is, it's only good enough. And we need to do more. I think $2,700 was the right amount. Mr. Commissioner Barfield, you know that some of the districts, some of the schools that you were talking about, they're going to be suffering most. Those are the areas where 1,000 computers are needed. My children go to Blair. When they needed new computers, they were able to go to their school base and get them because they're from some very wealthy areas, Marsh Oaks, Porter's Neck, some very wealthy areas in the community. So as usual, as happens, the areas that really need this funding are not going to get it, I'm afraid. And I just urge the board to consider that. I mean, I support things like the skate park. I support things like stuff for tennis. Those are fantastic investments. But if it's a statement of our priorities, I think we might want to reevaluate where we're putting our money. So thank you very much for your time. And again, thank you, staff and the board, for your work. Please don't misunderstand me. I don't think we should have invested less in our parks or in our recreational activities or anything like that. What I'm saying is that before we do that, if it's a choice, we need to invest in our children and our education. It's what I hear from you guys. It's what I believe, and it's why I'm making this race. This is too important. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys out there. Have a happy 4th of July.
This has been a brief chat with Nelson Beaulieu, candidate for new Hanover County Commissioner. Building for tomorrow, together.